reading for Sunday the 13th of February, the book of Leviticus chapter 25 and beginning at verse 18. Obey all the Lord's laws and commands so that you may live in safety in the land. The land will produce its crops and you will have all you want to eat and will live in safety. But someone may ask what there will be to eat during the 7th year when no fields are sown and no crops gathered. The Lord will bless the land in the 6th year so that it will produce enough food for 2 years. When you sow your fields in the 8th year, you will still be eating what you harvested during the 6th year, and you will have enough to eat until the crops you plant that year are harvested. Your land must not be sold on a permanent basis because you do not own it. It belongs to God, and you are like foreigners who are allowed to make use of it. When land is sold, the right of the original owner to buy it back must be recognised. If an Israelite becomes poor and is forced to sell his land, his closest relative is to buy it back. A man who has no relative to buy it back may later become prosperous and have enough to buy it back himself. In that case, he must pay to the man who brought it a sum that will make up for the years remaining until the next year of restoration, when he would in any event recover his land. But if he does not have enough money to buy the land back, it remains under the control of the man who bought it until the next year of restoration. In that year, it will be returned to its original owner. If a man sells a house in a walled city, he has the right to buy it back during the first full year from the date of sale. But if he does not buy it back within the year, he uses the right of repurchase, and the house becomes the permanent property of the purchaser and his descendants. It will not be returned in the year of restoration. But houses in unwalled villages are to be treated like fields. The original owner has the right to buy them back, and they are to be returned in the year of restoration. However, Levites have the right to buy back at any time their property in the cities assigned to them. If a house in one of these cities is sold by a Levite and is not bought back, it must be returned in the year of restoration, because the houses which the Levites own in their cities are the permanent property among the people of Israel. But the pasture land round the Levite cities shall never be sold. It is their property forever. If a fellow Israelite living near you becomes poor and cannot support himself, you must provide for him as you would for a hired man, so that he can continue to live near you. Do not charge him any interest, but obey God and let your fellow Israelite live near you. Do not make him pay interest on the money you lend him, and do not make a profit on the food you sell him. This is the command of the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt in order to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. If a fellow Israelite living near you becomes so poor that he sells himself to you as a slave, you shall not make him do the work of a slave. He shall stay with you as a hired man and serve you until the next year of restoration. At that time he and his children shall leave you and return to his family and to the property of his ancestors. The people of Israel are the Lord's slaves, and he brought them out of Egypt. They must not be sold into slavery. Do not treat them harshly, but obey your God. If you need slaves, you may buy them from the nations round you. You may also buy the children of the foreigners who are living among you. Such children born in your land may become your property, and you may leave them as an inheritance to your sons, whom they must serve as long as they live. But you must not treat any of your fellow Israelites harshly.